post going around on X sounds like pure dystopian bait. Europe is going to steal your search history. Google will be forced to hand over everything you type, click, and scroll to third parties. That framing is dramatic. But beneath the drama, there is a real and important fight happening right now. In April 2026, the European Commission sent preliminary findings to Alphabet under the Digital Markets Act, specifically Article 6.11. The core issue is whether Google Search, as a gatekeeper platform, must share certain categories of search data with rival online search engines. The Commission's language is more precise than the viral post. It is not describing a public dump of everyone's raw search diary. It is talking about access to anonymized ranking, query, click, and view data on fair, reasonable, and non-discriminatory terms for qualifying third-party search providers. That distinction matters, but it does not make the issue small. Search data is one of the most valuable feedback loops on the internet. It tells you what people want, what they click, how they refine a question, which results they ignore, and how intent changes over time. That data helps improve ranking systems, ad targeting, query understanding, autocomplete, and increasingly the retrieval and grounding layers behind AI products. The legal basis is real. Back in January 2026, the Commission opened proceedings to help Google comply with its Article 6.11 obligations. The plain English version is that Alphabet may have to grant third-party online search engines access to anonymized ranking, query, click, and view data held by Google Search. Then on April 16th, the Commission followed up with preliminary findings and proposed measures, opening a consultation on how that data sharing should work in practice. Now here is where the privacy tension shows up. Regulators say the data must be anonymized. That sounds comforting until you remember what search data actually contains. Search is intimate. People type things into a search bar that they would never post publicly and sometimes would never say out loud. Health fears, financial stress, addiction struggles, pregnancy questions, legal exposure, political curiosity, religious searching, relationship disasters. So the real question is not just whether data is shared. The real question is whether anonymization can hold once search queries are combined with enough context to stay useful. If you strip away too much context, the data becomes less valuable to rivals. If you preserve too much, the privacy risk goes up fast. That is why this dispute has real teeth. The Commission wants effective competition. Google wants to avoid turning useful search exhaust into a privacy grenade. And that is where the market angle gets interesting. Google's moat in search is not just brand, it is behavior data at scale. Every query and click helps reinforce ranking quality, ad relevance, and product tuning. If regulators can force even a partial opening of that loop, the strategic value could be huge for rivals. Smaller search engines could improve faster. Privacy-first engines could gain better coverage. Specialized search products could train better ranking systems. For investors, this creates several angles to watch. Alphabet faces a margin and moat question. Rival search platforms and privacy challengers may get stronger if the terms are workable. The AI layer sits right behind this story because search, retrieval, ranking, and user intent signals feed the next generation of assistants and agents. And the firms that can anonymize, audit, package, govern, and permission-sensitive data without destroying its usefulness may become more strategic. The biggest mistake is to treat this story as either harmless bureaucracy or proof that privacy is already dead. It is neither. It is a real contest between competition policy and data protection, and neither side has a clean answer. Search data is too valuable to ignore and too sensitive to treat casually. This is not just a privacy story. It is an infrastructure of power story.